Hey, super learners. We're going to read a fun story today. You may have heard this story, you may not. It's about an animal we're learning about. What kind of animal? Absolutely. So this is called Stellaluna. Can you say that? Stellaluna. Very nice. So obviously she's a bat. But what do you think is going to happen in this story? Ooh, I'm going to zoom in so you can see what else is on the front cover that maybe it will give you an idea of what or who might be involved in the story. So we have Stellaluna, and it is written by Janell. See if I can get to my right page. In a warm and sultry forest far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. I'll name you Stellaluna, she crooned. Each night, Mother Bat would carry Stellaluna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. So that's Mother Bat. One night, as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stellaluna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster, into the forest below. There goes baby Stellaluna. Oh, I hope she's going to be okay. The dark, leafy tangle of branches caught Stellaluna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stellaluna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. Mother, Stellaluna squeaked, where are you? By daybreak. When is daybreak? When the sun starts coming up. The baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. Oh man, poor baby Stellaluna. Flump! Stellaluna landed head first in a soft, downy nest, startling the three baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the three birds. What was that? Cried Flap. I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet, chirped Flitter. Shh! Here comes Mama, hissed Pip. So there's Stellaluna. She fell in with the three baby birds. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stellaluna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though the little bat could bear it no longer, she climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Boom, plop, in dropped a big green grasshopper. Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing. Except for one thing. Stellaluna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once, when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. All right, let's do some math real quick. There are 4 birds, but she saw 8 feet? Why? Oh, because each one has 2 feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where we get that number from. Eek! She cried. Get back up here this instant. You're going to fall and break your necks. Because do baby birds sleep upside down? No. What animal sleeps upside down? Bats. And are bats birds? Or are birds bats? Either way, the answer is no. The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. You are teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house. Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces. She slept in the nest at night. And she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. Ooh, look at Stellaluna. Mama Bird's giving her a talking to. Stellaluna's like, okay, I'll be good. I'll follow your bird ways. All the babies grew up quickly. Soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. I'm just like them, thought Stellaluna. I can fly too. Now, I'm going to pause here. What have we learned about bats and how they fly? Can they just jump from the ground and start flying? They have to minus the part, but they have to fall from a high spot, like usually in a tree. So we'll see how well this goes for Stellaluna. Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stellaluna tried to do the same. How did Stellaluna get to the branch? It's like she tried to catch it and she kept going. Woo! How embarrassing. Oh, and she kept trying and she kept getting it wrong. Oh, that poor, poor thing. How embarrassing. I will fly all day, Stellaluna told herself. Then no one will see how clumsy I am. It means where you don't land in a nice, easy way. But do you think Stellaluna can fly all day? I don't know. Because what do bats usually do during the day? Yeah, they're usually asleep. We'll have to wait and see. The next day, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. The sun is setting, warned Flitter. We'd better go home or we will get lost in the dark, said Flap. But Stellaluna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The three anxious birds went home without her. There goes Stellaluna. All alone, Stellaluna flew and flew until her wings ached. Oh, and she dropped into a tree. I promised not to hang by my feet, Stellaluna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. So there's Stellaluna hanging on with her thumbs, which aren't supposed to be holding her up. I'm going to read this last sentence again. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. What do you think is coming near? We're going to have to wait and see. Hey, a loud voice said. Why are you hanging upside down? Stellaluna's eyes opened wide. She saw a most peculiar face. I'm not upside down. You are, Stellaluna said. Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You are hanging by your thumbs, so that makes you upside down, the creature said. I'm a bat. I am hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up. Stellaluna was confused. Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong. Wrong for a bird, maybe, but not for a bat. Stellaluna's like, what? More bats gathered around to see the strange young bat who behaved like a bird. Stellaluna told them her story. You ate bugs, stuttered one. You slept at night, gasped another. How very strange, they all murmured. Wait, wait, let me look at this child. A bat pushed through the crowd. An owl attacked you? She asked, sniffing Stellaluna's fur. She whispered, you are Stellaluna. Before I read this next part, who on earth could that be? You are my baby. Who could it be? Mother bat! Oh my goodness. I thought for sure she'd been eaten by the owl. You escaped the owl? Cried Stellaluna. You survived? Yes, said Mother Bat as she wrapped her wings around Stellaluna. Come with me and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You'll never have to eat another bug as long as you live. So remember, some bats eat bugs and insects and other small mammals or like frogs, amphibians, or fish. But these kinds of bats like fruit. So there's Stellaluna and her mama. But it's nighttime, Stellaluna squeaked. We can't fly in the dark or we will crash into trees. True or false? That's false because why? Give you a clue. We're bats, said Mother Bat. We can see in darkness. Come with us. Stellaluna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stellaluna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path. Now, that's not what actually happens in real life, but that's how she feels like. So the illustrator is using that. Soon, the bats found a mango tree, and Stellaluna ate as much of the fruit as she could hold. I'll never eat another bug as long as I live, cheered Stellaluna as she stuffed herself full. I must tell Pip, Flitter, and Flap. Mango, that looks so yummy. Mango's a type of fruit. The next day, Stellaluna went to visit the birds. Come with me and meet my bat family, said Stellaluna. Okay, let's go, agreed Pip. They hang by their feet and they fly at night and they eat the best food in the world, Stellaluna explained to the birds on the way. As the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, I feel upside down here. So the birds hung by their feet. Wait until dark, Stellaluna said excitedly. We will fly at night. When night came, Stellaluna flew away. Pip, Flitter, and Flap leaped from the tree to follow her. I can't see a thing, yelled Pip. Neither can I, howled Flitter. Ah! Shrieked Flap. They're going to crash, gasped Stellaluna. I must rescue them. Is she going to save them? Stellaluna swooped about, grabbing her friends in the air. She lifted them to a tree, and the birds grasped a branch. Stellaluna hung from the limb above them. Woo-wee! Thank goodness for Stellaluna. We're safe, said Stellaluna. Then she sighed. I wish you could see in the dark, too. We wish you could land on your feet, Flitter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. They perched in silence for a long time. That means they just kind of sat there. How can we be so different and feel so much alike? Mused Flitter. And how can we feel so different and be so much alike? Wondered Pip. I think it is quite a mystery, Flap chirped. I agree, said Stellaluna, but we're friends, and that's a fact. Ooh. Bat notes. Just going to read through this. Of the nearly 5,500 species of mammals on Earth, almost 1/4 are bats, so like about 25% almost. The only mammals capable of flying, of powered flight. The scientific name for bats is chiroptera. Can you say chiroptera? That's a tricky word. Chiroptera. It means hand wing because the skeleton or the bones that support the wing is composed of the animal's hand and elongated finger bones. Most bats use echolocation in order to navigate in flight, avoid obstacles, and detect and track prey. Echolocation is a form of biological sonar, using sound to sense the world around us. Dolphins also use a form of echolocation. There are over 1,100 species of echolocating bats, and they live in every climate around the world except the polar zones. Many eat insects, while others feed on fish, amphibians, which are like your frogs, reptiles, lizards, and even other mammals. Still, other echolocating bats feed on fruit or the nectar and pollen of flowers. Some of the most famous are vampire bats, of which there are only 3 species. Vampire bats can be found from Mexico to Argentina. They prey primarily on domestic cattle, so like cows, pigs, horses, and native mammals and birds, from which they obtain blood meals through tiny little bites. Contrary to myth, no bats are blind. Some bats actually see really well and others not so much. However, not all bats use echolocation. Most old world fruit bats, like Stellaluna, instead use their keen vision, that means they're really good looking eyes, and sense of smell to find themselves and to find their food. There are about 200 species of old world fruit bats. The smallest have a wingspan of 11 inches, so that's like almost a whole foot. The largest have a wingspan of nearly 6 feet. Old world fruit bats generally have long muzzles, that means they're like kind of snout face area, large eyes, pointy ears, and furry bodies, which is why they're often called flying foxes. They live in tropical and subtropical climates that provide year-round supplies of their favorite fruits, flowers, and nectar. Some fruit bats, as they forage or look for and find for nectar, pollinate many types of night-blooming trees and plants. That means plants and trees that only open up in the nighttime. Others eat whole fruits, seeds and all, and distribute the seeds over the forest floor in their droppings. Does anybody know what that is? I know. Get it out now. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Are you ready? I know. So funny. Oh my goodness. In these ways, bats are very important to the regeneration or keep going of tropical forests. And that was Stellaluna. I hope you enjoyed. We are going to listen to this story again tomorrow, but tomorrow I'm going to be asking some good questions and helping us with some of that special words that we've heard in the story. So I will see you in a little bit. Toodaloo.